Harry's Wife, Part 105.1.1, the Sussex series. He leaves. Hello, I'm HG Tudor, providing for you a mini-series which is comprehensive in its analysis of three potential scenarios with regard to what happens between the Sussexes. I've already explained to you the baseline scenario and the circumstances that has caused Harry to effectively think, enough, I'm out of here. If you have not listened to that already, you really need to do so to make sense of this part, so I would encourage you to do so. I am using my extensive knowledge about the behaviour of my kind to create, if you will, a reconstruction of a predicted behaviour if Harry were to leave Harry's wife. This enables you to understand the dynamic between a narcissist of a mid-range nature, and also give you a glimpse into also the ways that other types of narcissists would behave, because there will be similarities, and the effect upon the victim. This also, of course, allows you to understand precisely what is likely to happen between the Sussexes if the scenario of Harry leaving occurs. Nobody else is able to give you this insight. Nobody else is able to give you this level of prediction because they don't understand narcissism to the extent that I do, or indeed they don't even apply it to the dynamic that's occurring. In a way, it's like doing some modelling, taking this person and that person, one a victim, one a narcissist, and then saying, okay, if the scenario is that the victim leaves, what would then happen thereafter? And applying my extensive knowledge of narcissism, I can provide you with that prediction. It's absolutely fascinating. And this is work you won't get anywhere else. So I've explained the baseline scenario. I've explained what has driven Harry to leave. What then happens next? In the baseline scenario, the assumption is he tells her that it's over. This, of course, is a mistake. When you get out, as part of GOSO, get out, stay out, you never tell the narcissist that you're leaving. Why? Well, quite simply, it gives the narcissist an opportunity to try and stop you. So if you start doing things which somehow cause the narcissist to sense that all is not well and you might be making an escape, or you simply surprise the narcissist by telling them, look, it's over and I'm leaving you, that is an error. You need to ensure that your preparatory work is done in a way so that it is not detected, or that you get out pretty quickly once you've made the decision that you're going to leave. In some instances, that means with the clothes on your back, and everything else can be sorted out afterwards. Your priority is to get away from somebody that is abusing you and could potentially, with certain narcissists, though not all, put your life at risk. With Harry, he sits down and tells her that it's over. This will then, of course, amount to challenge fuel. He's giving fuel to Harry's wife, but he's threatening her sense of control by saying, you're not good enough. Our relationship is over, and I'm the one that's decided to leave. This causes two major problems for her. The very fact that the relationship is over is a huge dent to her. Furthermore, the fact that she didn't necessarily see it coming, and that it's him that's decided to depart. Also, he is the intimate partner primary source. It's a little bit like if you were a business and your best and largest client decides they're no longer to give you any business, and they provide 80-90% of that. That's going to cause a real problem for your business. So when Harry sits down and says, it's over, that causes a massive problem for Harry's wife, and therefore the narcissism scrambles to immediately issue what's known as a preventative hoover to stop him leaving. What might that look like? Well, initially, she's likely to play the, but I don't understand, I thought we were doing so well, and I love you, and we have our beautiful children. And she'll play nice. It will also merge into a pity play. Why are you doing this to us? Why are you breaking us up? Why are you hurting me so? Tears will come, perhaps just one after left eye ready, go. But tears will flow. her narcissism will compel her to fight to stop him leaving. And initially that's done in a benign way, in terms of talking about what they've got, what the future could bring, how good we are together. False contrition, I'm sorry if I've not treated you as well as I should have done. Little things I should have said and done, you were always on my mind, etc., etc. Doling out the pity plays. I can't believe you're doing this to me when I'm about to record a second series of Arsey Wipes. I can't believe you're doing this to us when our Netflix series is going to conquer the world. I can't believe you're doing this to us after everything that I've done for you. I can't believe you're doing this to the children. Pity play, use of guilt. If that doesn't get him, then there will be threats. If you leave, I'm going to break you. If you leave, I will release the sex tape of you with an aubergine up your bottom. If you leave, I am going to tell the world about what a monster you truly are. As a middle mid-ranger, she is likely to utilise threat if the pouring of sugar and the pity plays don't keep him in situ. She will threaten that there will be unholy Armageddon unleashed against him, that she will go medieval on his ass, and we will see heated fury. At this juncture, as the threats are issued, there is a possibility of physical violence. And ultimately, even if he maintains that he doesn't want her, she will then turn and say, well, get out then and enjoy the whore whoever she is, false accusation. It's at this juncture that Harry is at considerable risk of not executing his plan for departure. This is why it's so important for a victim of a narcissist, when that decision to go has been made, that you execute it without telling the narcissist first. You might organise for somebody else to tell the narcissist. You might tell the narcissist just simply by the service of divorce proceedings. Cold, yes, but it's logical and effective. Or you might do so by having somebody else convey that you've departed and you're not coming back. The problem is if you tell the narcissist first, the narcissist, having their control threatened, will issue a preventative hoover to try and stop you from leaving. The narcissist will go hell for leather to stop that occurring, and it's going to be no different with Harry's wife. She will do her level best to stop him going. Why? Not because she loves him, although she thinks she does, but because he is such a major part of her fuel matrix. He's the easiest person to control that provides lots of fuel, character traits, and residual benefits. Notwithstanding, of course, that he's in devaluation, that doesn't matter. She wasn't ready to get rid of him yet, and the fact that he's decided that he's going is a huge dent to her sense of control. It tells her she's important, that she's worthless, that she's not good. And that is a terrible and awful thing for the narcissist to experience. Accordingly, her narcissism springs into action to prevent him from going, and as a consequence of her manipulative wiles and his very high emotional thinking, it could be that the preventative hoover succeeds. And he says, okay, I won't go. Let's work things out. Let's talk about it. You've promised to change. I'll give you a further chance to sort things out. I love you too. It's just things have been so difficult. Many people that I have consulted with have found themselves in such a situation where on the brink of departure, the narcissist has persuaded them, cajoled them, even threatened them into a position of staying. But in this scenario, in order for you to see what happens next, Harry's resolve remains firm. And although he makes the schoolboy error of telling her that he's going, her attempts to keep him in situ with a preventative hoover fail, and he departs. That then departure will be massive wounding to Harry's wife. She's immediately starved of a huge amount of fuel, and she has lost the individual that is the most important part of her fuel matrix. She's in a real state. She doesn't have control over him. He's gone, and she has to get that control over him. The first law of narcissism is such that all appliances must be brought under control and kept under control at all times. And him walking out of the door, shimmying his pink ass as he rides off into the sunset, is massive wounding to her. Her fuel levels have plummeted, and he's not under control. Therefore, her narcissism won't direct her to try and get control over him directly. She's just tried that and it failed. And because the narcissism is a self-defense mechanism against the issue of threats to control, it's not going to make her try again by immediately running down the road after him but going, "Harry, Harry!" Instead, she will turn to the second, the indirect assertion of control. And this is when she starts the smearing. She will smear Harry to friends, his family, and even potentially her family also. There'll be those of you listening who are thinking, what an absolute cheek she has got to turn around and say, well, actually, you've not bothered with your family for years, and here you are, ringing them up, blubbing down the phone, saying, "Harry's left me, the ginger bastard." The point is, with a narcissist, she has no shame or embarrassment and no self-reflection on her behaviours. And if her narcissism dictates that she has to get in contact with her family, with her dad, with her half-siblings, with other members of the extended family on her side, then she'll do it. People might question, why are you getting in touch with me now? You've not spoken to me for 2 years. And she will say, I'm sorry about that. It was Harry. Harry turned me against you. A blatant lie, but the narcissism will cause that to be said. And invariably, most individuals who are faced with this scenario fall for it. The presentation of the distressed narcissist and the suggestion that actually they were being held captive is often easier to swallow than thinking that a member of your own flesh and blood just didn't want to have anything to do with you. And it's often the case that those extended family members fall for this power play. She will contact friends, crying about the fact that he's gone, saying that he had telling lies about his behaviour to make him out to be the villain and her, as always, to be the victim. People's agreement that he's a ginger scoundrel, an utter cad and rapscallion means that she will be afforded a subconscious sense of control not only over Harry, but also over the person that she's talking to. These secondary sources will also be providing her with much-needed fuel to offset the loss of fuel by Harry's departure and the hemorrhaging of the fuel caused by his massive wounding. Accordingly, contacting friends, her family, and even his family will cause the receipt of fuel from secondary sources. It's highly likely that she will look to reach out to King Charles. Your son has done the dirty on me. Your son has treated me so badly. I need your help, Charles. We need to get him to see sense. All I've ever tried to do is the right thing for our family. Please, I need your help. Accordingly, she will reach out to all of these people and she will smear him. She will dole out the pity plays, maxing her victim status. She will smear him, making up things that he has done. Accuse him of beating her up, accusing him of drug taking, excessive drinking. She'll accuse him of perhaps some kind of sexual violence. She'll accuse him of cheating on her. There'll be no holes barred. Some of these things might have truth in them. Most of them will not. But that doesn't matter. Her narcissism will compel her to believe that she is indeed telling the truth and that these things actually happened. It has to do that to compel her to say it with utter conviction. And therefore, behind the scenes, if you will, there will be this smearing of Harry. She's not immediately going to go running to Oprah for a bombshell tell-all interview. More about that later. But in the initial aftermath of Harry walking out of that door with his Adidas bag packed, with his comfy balls underwear, then what she will have to do, driven by her narcissism, is top up the fuel that she's lost as a consequence of this massive wounding, which means contacting the various people in her fuel matrix, the friends, the family members, colleagues even. Her narcissism also needs her to get Harry under control, and it will do that not directly, but indirectly through these pity plays and smearing, so that all of these people end up agreeing that he's an utter shitbag and that she's been hard done to, and how awful and terrible such behaviour is in that regard. And therefore, That is what her narcissism will compel her to do in the immediate aftermath, even smearing him potentially to the children about how your dad's a dirtbag and he doesn't love you and he doesn't care about you. She, of course, having no emotional empathy for them, isn't going to shield them from the behaviours. Her needs come first. And those of you who have been involved with a narcissist will know full well how the narcissist will essentially talk about matters that children shouldn't hear, because there is no boundary recognition, a sense of entitlement, no emotional empathy, and of course that huge necessity of getting control over the hitherto uncontrollable or threatening control appliance that is the intimate partner primary source. That is what Harry's wife's initial reaction is going to be once he's left. But what will she do then after this? Once she's to an extent steadied the ship with the receipt of fuel from these secondary sources, friends, family members and colleagues, embarked upon the smearing, subconsciously achieved that sense of control, but it's far from over yet. What would happen next? In the next section, I'm going to tell you. Join me there.